The devil's job is to make you think you ain't gonna make it. The devil don't care about you. That's his one job, to keep you from your destiny. The devil don't ever want you to be what God created you to be. When you discover your gift, then here go the devil. You got this job over here, you're gonna lose your 401k. You can skip all of this, but you gotta quit letting the devil keep you from your destiny. He got you thinking you're gonna mess your credit up if you quit your job. If your card max out at $5,000 and you got $4,090 on it, you're gonna have to make a choice. He trying to keep you from being who God made you to be. If you've been dreaming of opening that business, you should start the process. See, if you make one step, he'll make two, but he can't make his two unless you make your one. Fill out the application. Send in the paperwork. Do something, man. Start creating a website. Let your job sponsor your dreams. Take that money and start your website. What is you talking about now? Take whatever money you owe Kmart and Sears, buy your business cards. Take one of your bills one time instead of paying it, and don't worry about where you're going with it. He'll show you the way to go. But he got to make sure that you want to get to your destiny first. He going to show you how to do it. You can believe that. And don't ever be too proud to pray.
What are you going to do with the life he has given you and the time he has given you and the gifts he has given you and the resources he has given you? What are you going to do with it? There's somebody in the hospital wishing they could be where you are right now. But look at you. I know you got some problems and I know you got some issues. You got up out of the bed. You brushed your own teeth. What are you going to do with what God has given you? Excuse me, let me show you some Shazam! 4. I got 10 and you got 4. How can you be that happy about 4? Both of us have 100% increase over where we started.
Live full, die empty. Live life on their terms and not to be a volunteer victim. You're saying yes for a bigger life. You're saying yes, I'm ready to be empowered to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. You're saying yes, I'm tired of playing small. You're saying yes to providing for yourself and your family. I'm not mentally fit to work for somebody for the rest of my life. Yes to your dreams. Yes to your unfolding future. My heart would beat so fast. And my heart said, I can do that. My mental conditioning began to speak. You can't do that. You don't have a college education. What makes you think that you can speak for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, IBM? You can't do that. How many of you ever thought about something you wanted to do and then your mind talked you out of it?
Don't judge where you are as where you're going to stay. God has some transfers for you. Transfers of influence, transfers of resources, houses that you didn't build, promotion that you didn't work for. Now this transfer requires obedience, honoring God, doing the right thing when it's hard. There will be seasons like with Joseph that it's not fair. Nothing is changing. People that don't honor God are passing you by. Don't be discouraged. Your time is coming. It's going to happen suddenly, out of the ordinary. You couldn't have made it happen. It's the hand of God. What's significant with all three of these people, Nehemiah, Joseph, and Ruth, none of their circumstances looked like they were about to change. Joseph was sitting in prison. You're telling me he's about to be the prime minister of this powerful nation? I don't think so. Ruth was in the fields picking up grain. You're saying she's about to own this field? I don't see how. Nehemiah was a busboy working in the kitchen. You mean he's going to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem? I think you have the wrong person. When you look at your situation, everything may say, there's no way you'll accomplish your dream. No way you'll own your company. No way you'll get out of this problem. No way you'll meet the right person. You're right where they were. The good news is one transfer, one shift, and you'll have the resources, influence, opportunity that you've never seen. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't live with a scarcity mentality. You have to give God permission to bless you. Quit believing those lies that you don't deserve it. You come from the wrong family. You're not that talented. You've reached your limits. God needs you to build His kingdom. He's counting on you to make the world world a better place. He's destined you to take your family where they've never been. He wants to entrust you with resources, influence that you've never imagined. Be faithful where you are. Honor God with what you have. He's looking for Josephs, people that keep doing the right thing when it's hard. He's looking for Nehemiahs, people that have a passion to build His kingdom. He's looking for Ruths, people that don't let bad breaks cause them to live bitter. I believe that's you. Because you've been faithful, because you have the right motives, God is about to show out in your life. Others that haven't honored God, seems like they've passed you up. They've gotten good breaks, gone further. There's about to be a shift. God is going to put resources into the hands of the righteous. Influence is going to shift. You were in the background, now you're in the foreground. You were struggling to get by, now you have abundance. You thought you'd reached your limits, but suddenly you're thrust to a new level. I believe and declare a transfer is coming for you. Like Nehemiah, you're going to accomplish dreams bigger than you thought possible. Like Joseph, you're going to handle resources you've never imagined. Like Ruth, you're going to go from working in the field to owning the field. I know it wasn't fair. I know they did you wrong. You don't understand it. Leave that all in God's hands. Just do your part, get your passion back, get your faith back, get your dreams back. This is what made David a champion. Not that he didn't have injustice, not that he never had bad breaks, things that weren't fair, people that did him wrong. He knew how to get back up. He dried his tears, he shook off the defeated mindset, told his men, get up, we're going to go attack the enemy. He didn't stay on the defensive, thinking that he's seen his best days. His attitude was, I have a destiny to fulfill. This bad break didn't stop my purpose. I know that God will make it up to me. And that's how you move forward when it's unfair. Not looking to people, not hoping your boss will feel sorry for you, not counting on your friend to make it up to you. Look up to your Creator. Look up to the Most High. He's the one that has beauty for the ashes. He's the one that can bring you out better than you were before. David and his men headed out. They didn't know where the Amalekites were. Along the way, they found a man that was very sick. They gave him food and water and asked who he was. He said he was a slave of the Amalekites. They had left him behind. He was too weak to travel. David said, tell me where they are and I'll spare your life. He led them straight to the Amalekites' camp. God knows how to put the right people in your path. He knows how to get you to where you're supposed to be. The Amalekites were having a big party, celebrating the victory. Sometimes the enemy celebrates too soon. Don't worry if you see them celebrating. God is not finished. David and his men attacked. The scripture says they recovered everything they had lost. All their wives and children were unharmed. They got all their possessions back. Not only that, they gathered up all the spoils from the Amalekites. That's what happens when you don't let an injustice, a bad break, a loss cause you to get discouraged and settle where you are. But what stops us many times is we have a good reason to be sour, a good reason to give up on our dreams, had a bad childhood, person walked away, the company let us go. Wasn't our fault that we got knocked down. I understand that, but what I'm saying is it is your responsibility to get back up. We wouldn't be talking about David if he'd used that bad break as an excuse. He was honoring God. He was not taking revenge against King Saul. He didn't get bitter when his family left him out. Would have been different if he was slacking off, compromising, doing whatever he felt like, but he was being his best. A person of integrity, yet the bottom fell out. That's a test. Are you going to let it be an excuse that keeps you from your greatness? Or are you going to get back up knowing that God is still on the throne, that He has good plans for you, that what tried to stop you was only setting you up for something greater? 3 days after David's biggest defeat, 3 days after he lost everything, he not only recovered it all, but King Saul was killed in a battle and David was made king. When you face your biggest battles, the most unfair, unjust, that's a sign that you're close to seeing your greatest victories, your biggest accomplishments, your most rewarding relationships.
You know, one of the things that Maya Angelou used to always say to me, and I love this, she used to say to me, baby, those people can't hold a candle to the light that God already has shining on your face.
Yeah.
Can't you see? So I learned to focus on the light that God has shining on my face and not worry about the people who trying to put up a candle and burn it.
When you have haters, you have to understand what haters are. Haters are a very limited number of people. They're really not the massive amounts that operate in your life. It's just that hate is so loud. Hate is louder than love, but love is stronger. If you focus on the people that love you, you can blow over the haters. Haters ain't. Most people hate you only because of the way other people love you. That's why you got most of your haters anyway.
You're allowing people who don't matter, right, in the grand scheme of your life, when it comes to like the totality of your life, the grand scheme of your life, you're allowing people things that really don't matter to matter so much. That's why I hardly respond to like the negativity or the hate. It's really got to a point where it's funny to me. I feel sorry for those people because it doesn't matter. It doesn't. I know they're not going to support me. They're not going to do anything for me. So why does it matter?
What you may think is a disappointment, a person that walked away, a friend that betrayed you, a coworker that's trying to make you look bad. You may not like that, but you couldn't reach your destiny without them. It's all a part of God's plan to get you to where you're supposed to be. David would only be known as a shepherd boy if it wasn't for Goliath. Goliath was strategically placed in David's path, not to defeat him, but to promote him. Without Goliath, David would have never taken the throne. Don't complain about your enemies. It may look like a setback, but really it's a setup for God to get you to your throne.
People's opinion of you is none of your business. I have lots of haters. They on the internet all the time. But who are they though? They don't even know me. People who are haters on the internet, I call them thumb gangsters. They just typing. Their little punk got a private page. They saying about. They don't even know me. So I don't give them no energy. I give haters no energy. Steve ain't this. He think he this. You don't even know me. So I just keep going through. But then I tell you something too. Haters motivate me. Because when they talking about me, that means I'm doing something. If you have no haters, if you don't have any haters, you ain't doing nothing, man.
We don't have to play up to people, try to convince them to like us. Hopefully they'll give me a good break. No, God doesn't have to use your friends. He can use your enemies, your critics, the ones that are trying to push you down. He can use them to push you up. Some of my enemies, I feel like I need to write them a check. If they hadn't have been against me, I wouldn't have prayed so hard. If they hadn't have made fun, I would have given up sooner. If they hadn't have told me I couldn't do it, didn't have what it takes, I might have been complacent, settled where I was. It was their opposition that pushed me forward. Many times, God will use your enemies to catapult you to success more than your friends. David said, God prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Notice, when God brings you through the opposition, He's not going to do it in private. He's going to do it where all of those enemies can see it. The longer I live, the more I realize nothing happens by accident. Even the opposition, if you'll keep the right attitude, God will use it to your advantage. I was talking to a well-known minister one time. For over 50 years, he had gone around the world doing so much good. Most people were very appreciative. But in his hometown, the local newspaper was never for him. They were always finding fault. He could do 100 things right. They wouldn't report that. They'd find the one thing they didn't like, make a big deal out of it. This went on year after year. He had an interesting perspective. He said, if it hadn't been for that newspaper, I would have never accomplished so much. I thought, what do you mean? He said that newspaper not only kept me on my knees, but it gave me the fuel to keep pressing forward to prove to them that they were wrong. He went on to build a beautiful university in that city. Tens of thousands of young people have attended. And toward the end of his life, when he was just about done, all of a sudden the newspaper had a change of heart. They wrote this big front page article celebrating everything that he had done. It was almost like God waited on purpose. God knew that enemy, even though my friend didn't like it, it was making him better. It was keeping him stirred up, made him more determined, more resilient. Some of the things that we don't like, we're asking God to get rid of. If He removed them right now, we wouldn't reach our highest potential. That opposition is making you stronger. Those people trying to stop you, the betrayal, the disappointment, that cannot keep you from your destiny. God has the final say. If He hasn't removed it yet, that means He's going to use it for your good. He strategically places the Goliaths, the Judases, the opposition. Without Goliath, you can't take your throne. Without Judas, you won't reach your highest potential. Without the naysayers, you wouldn't become all you were created to be. Some of the favor that you're seeing, some of the good breaks you've had, it didn't happen because of you. It happened because of those people that tried to stop you. They put you in position for promotion. Now, I always thank God for my friends, but I've learned to thank God for my enemies as well. The scripture says, don't be intimidated by your enemies. Don't be intimidated by what somebody said. Don't be intimidated by a negative medical report. You and God are a majority. When Jesus came out of the grave, He took the keys of death and hell. He said, all power has been given unto me in heaven and in earth. Now I'm giving you that power. You are not weak. You are not lacking. You are full of can-do power. The greatest force in the universe is on your side. When you see where God takes you, the favor, the promotion, the blessing, you're going to look back and say like the psalmist, it was good that I was afflicted. See, if David were here, he would tell you, it was good that Goliath showed up. Jesus would say, it was good that Judas betrayed me. I can tell you, it was good that executive was against us. It may have been uncomfortable at the time, but one day you'll say, this enemy didn't defeat me, this enemy promoted me. Now stay in faith. God has your back. He wouldn't have allowed the pressure unless He's going to work for your good.